What is up, guys? It is Jack here, all the NDD, back with another video for you again today. Just waffling at the camera as usual, but it was just actually a funny little subject that I wanted to talk to you guys about and see if you guys ever had any unbearable managers. This is not my current manager or any manager I've had in the past even. Goodness me, we're going back about 8 or 9 years at this point, right? But I just wondered what your guys' experiences was. That one of the worst managers I ever worked with was way back when I was an apprentice, and I was not the only individual who had these issues with this person, but some of the famous micromanaging and quotes, there was, for example, everyone in the office at the seniors, every single level of management used to go onto the pub on a Friday. As you know, British people, pub is a right. Boys and girls, this was not any men's club, this was every single person pretty much would go along and have a drink and have a chat at lunchtime. And then when this happened, this individual manager dragged all of the young apprentices in, of all ages, by the way, and genders again. So it wasn't like it was excluding anyone. He was picking on everyone and saying and said, it's the quickest way out the door is to have a pint at work. And once again, just this, again, underhand threats and constant trying to demean and imply that you're going to get fired for, you know, talking to your management and getting in those close relations. You know, don't get me wrong, if someone was there doing Jaeger bombs, right, which I do enjoy in a good weekend, I'd understand. But talking about having, you know, even going to the pub, he mentioned as if it was blasphemy, was absolutely ridiculous. And this was that mentality I hated. And I wonder if you guys have ever had anything similar. You know, I know I've got viewers from, you know, across the pond and all sorts of places in Europe, and I just wondered if this is just a British moany bastard thing, or if it was a common thing. Another colleague of mine, a good friend Jonah, he got told off because he was wearing the wrong coloured socks. So he had white socks on, and this individual pulled him into a meeting room and really tore into him over it, and then he made sure he never wore those white socks again. I'm wondering why he's staring at someone's feet. I don't know if he had a little bit of a foot fetish going on. I mean, I don't judge, you know, as love is love and all that shit, but for me, I don't know why he's checking out feet in the office, but hey, it's not for me to decide. But yeah, as I said, writing someone up and having a go at them for wearing the wrong coloured socks is not quite what I would get up to, and I've been a manager myself for a little bit as well. And then what was the other one he did? He did all sorts of random awful things like that. He pulled aside someone because they he had a personal issue with eating sounds, which is completely understandable if someone's eating like a pig. But then, like, regularly when he would walk past like canteen areas and stuff, he would have like hissy fits about that. And I think that's kind of one area where you can't get frustrated at people being engaged in food as a canteen area, right? It's like, go and eat at your desk if that's, you know, that much of a problem. You know, honestly, this guy was just constantly on people's backs and trying to get at them. There was actually one instance as well where one of another good friend of mine, were back in the day, it was around Halloween, and basically we'd all told him as a joke that we were going to dress up for the Halloween in the office, and he got a skeleton costume. And the night before, I actually spoke to him and said, look, Jed, his name was, said, Jed, you know, it's not actually going to happen tomorrow, you know. And he said, no, I'll still wear it, it'll be funny, right? And then he came in the office dressed up, and he was the only one, and everyone laughed and enjoyed it. And our manager bought him a chocolate, manager at the time on the team, sorry, the local manager, so to speak, bought him some chocolates, some Maltesers, very British chocolate, to say, oh, you won the costume contest, haha, and everyone enjoyed it. And when he saw this other manager, the arsehole decided, oh, well, no, this is bullying, right? And tried to, and basically, long story short, he pulled everyone, again, with a varied group of people, into a meeting and started lecturing us, quoting colonels about, oh, the standards you walk by are the standards you respect, and all this crap. And I told him, when I told him that he knew it was going to be a joke anyway, but he'd already got this costume and he was going to wear it for fun, and no one was picking on him, his face went white and he didn't have a response. And then he called me into a meeting afterwards, one-on-one, and said I shouldn't undermine him. And this is the most insecure individual I'd ever worked with, right? And unfortunately, you get people like that in life. In Britain, we have a wonderful word for it. It's called a wanker. So I just wondered if anyone else had to deal with that sort of thing. And the funny thing as well about that was that obviously it turned out that he was applying for a job, and the job required conflict resolution and experience and that sort of thing. You know, around the time he was applying and looking for this job, and then his application suddenly had managing bullying and harassment and all this stuff, which didn't seem quite right. And ironically enough as well, it kind of was a downside because the individual had to defend himself and say, I didn't report any of this, or say that I was being bullied. You know, don't get me wrong. I know there's obviously going to be the opposite side of the coin that people are going to say, hey, how do you know that this wasn't a bullying incident and he wasn't made to feel insecure and all of this jazz? And I would say, as I said, he had the full context and was aware of it. And it was an overall, like, a pull-on onesie thing, right? A skeleton one. There was a bit of a light laugh in the office in a pretty miserable office environment, as offices usually are. And it was just, that little bit of fun was just apparently too much. It was taken away. So, as I said, certain managers can make life hell. As I said, from the 11 years that I've worked, I'm getting old because it's 2026 now. From the 12 years I've worked, I think it's always been the teams, you know, the best money or whatever, the best work job itself means crap if the team you're working with is terrible. And to be fair, the past 6 years, I've been working with nothing but pretty much fantastic teams. You know, post-COVID, it's been just awesome teams, brilliant people to be around, and great laughs. So, yeah, as I said, one other small note as well, I might actually start doing a bit more sort of live content in the out in the open. I've just got my iPhone 17, not to flex Apple because it's not really much, but it does have an actual decent camera, which is better than this webcam. So I might do some more videos out and about. I know next month I've got like a big office day up in the city. You know, we're going to hopefully go out for some drinks. So I might do a bit more of a day in the life sort of content. If that's something that you guys would be interested in, obviously, please do drop a subscribe and let me know in the comments if that is what you would like to see. And as always, if you guys have got any stories, any response or any questions, let me know. And if not, you guys have a great day and take care, everybody.